gift. No one has been able to explain why, but I think it's hereditary, to be honest with you. They understand the basic thinking patterns and nature of ordinary people. They don't feel what you feel, but they study you, they watch your emotions and how you interact, and they know perfectly well intuitively that they can literally manipulate us.
It is a predatory subclass. It's what is it, about 1 in 100 people is a psychopath, and it's a predatory mutation or class. It's a Homo sapiens sapien that engages in feeding and predatory activities on its own species. It is a cannibalistic psychic vampire.
It is, and as I say, it has certain traits that are almost gifts. They have the ability to, as I say, understand how you think, how you feel, and how, especially, to manipulate an individual or whole masses of people with a talent they don't have to even work on. It's hereditary with them. Adolf Hitler had it too. He knew how to change the mentality of an entire nation by saying a lot of the right things at the time to get them on board, but always having another agenda, another vision of where he was going to take them.
Well, take Dick Cheney saying torture is good,
yes.
And then when they get caught saying we didn't do torture, and then relabeling torture as just interrogation,
yes.
And then now they say, by the way, the police are now going to torture you. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's in the news, federal court rulings, state courts are saying, and then look at how in just 7 years, our journey to the dark side is nearing complete.
Yes, and look at all the media entertainment under the guise of drama to train the public that torture is okay. We've had years of this training through fictional works that seem very real to the person who gets absorbed in them. This is all a science that's been used on the public. There is no safe entertainment out there.
Alan, stay with us for another 5 minutes on the break. I'm going to jam in a few calls from Lily and others that are patiently holding here on Genesis. And Max Kaiser, more on the economy coming up. Again, a globalized, standardized, zoned, regulated system where it makes you dependent on the state. Stay with us.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Man, I am excited about Max Kaiser coming up, but I don't want to say bye to Alan Watt, and I want to take your calls, and I want to talk about all this. Me and Alan were just talking about during the break about how I'd like to meet him sometime, but I'm not allowed to go to Canada. There's no law or rule. I just get arrested if I try to go. And then the UK papers are announcing only absolute, the term they use is, what's the term? Travel that is essential will be allowed under the new greenhouse gas caps. And
That's right.
It's all happening.
The Minister of Environment came out and said that eventually even all tourism will be gone. Authorized travel for big business purposes, international corporations, government only.
But the environmentalists to check things, they'll be allowed to go to certain facilities and things. I mean, what sickening, degenerate control freaks. Let's talk to Lily in North Carolina. Lily, you're on the air with Alan Watt.
Hi, Alex. I just want to say I listen to your show every day for the latest thing. Anyway, I just want to say that it's hard to wake people up until you tell them, they don't want to believe the government is so evil. But anyway, all the governments of the world.
That's because they haven't studied history.
Well, they need to read the general chronology of events put out by Leading Edge Research Group. It's fantastic. It goes back and tells you all about the eugenics plans, sterilization in the sanitariums, and it even tells you about what they're going to teach in schools and divide the one-room classroom. It's fantastic. If they could read this, they would understand just how much evil is out there around them.
No, I hear you.
Not just in the government, around them.
Well, no, they have NGOs, the corporations. It's all one thing, and they have non-governmental organizations carrying it out. Thank you, Lily. Yeah, Alan, could you comment on that? I mean, these NGOs in the U.S. and England and Canada, they all manage local homeland security, and it's private groups like City Year that answer to the president, but they're under a private corporation with David Gergen in red and black uniforms.
Yes, and once again, they said at the top a long time ago, And Margaret Thatcher did admit this on national television in Britain. She belongs to a parallel government. They run along with the foundations. The big foundations are the parallel government masters. They're also the top bankers like the Rockefellers. And they finance the NGOs that appear to speak on behalf of the general public. That's the trick of it. It's a very clever 180-degree manipulation of democracy. They don't speak for the public. They take their orders from the foundations. And that is copied after the Soviet system. Soviet meant rule by councils. The Politburo picked the leaders of the NGOs for the Soviet Union. They would demand certain laws.
And more than that, it creates an illusion of local business and government and industry when really it's all their chosen facade for society, and then they'll come in and burn you out now. A lot of these NGO groups, literally, this is in the news, they're just taking over everything. This is their boots on the ground, and they know how to make it, quote, free market. Like, take the surveillance industry.
Yep.
The surveillance industry, they all, the corporate government with a revolving door gives themselves the contracts for the police state.
Yes, that's exactly how it works. It's incredible organization. To say that the capstone is a very good emblem, because everything beneath it is the pyramid. As long as the capstone's in charge of all sides, if you down a pyramid at all sides, all four sides, you are in charge of the entire direction of the planet. And they certainly have had this for a long time. These are the same guys who gave the Soviet system the experiment, they called it. These are the guys who set up the foundations like Ford and said the purpose of Ford was to blend the Soviet system with the culture of America so carefully and slowly that they wouldn't even know it had been done until it was merged together.
Absolutely.
The Rees Commission, this is all admitted, documented history, and they've almost reached that goal, but they still need the cooperation and the fear, it's done through fear of the general public, to go along with every step of it. They're using panic right now, panic after panic, and inoculations are next part of the panic.
Oh, I meant to get into that. I'll tell you what, Alan, if you can, do 2 more minutes on the other side, because I want to get your take on the whole swine flu pandemic fear. And then, of course, as we predicted, it came out, it is genetically manufactured. It is the government. And they as much as admit they're using it as a beta test for when they really release a controlled plague. And then Max Kaiser's coming up. Stay with us.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Okay, Max Kaiser joining us in a few minutes for the rest of the hour on the economy. We'll have open phones in as well. Alan Watt, in closing, you were mentioning the swine flu being a staged fear-mongering event. It has now come out, as we predicted, that it was man-made, manufactured. We knew that because it had no connection to any known natural strain. They're obsessed with setting precedents to force things into our body. We know worldwide they've been caught sterilizing and killing people with vaccines hundreds of times on record with different vaccines. So why would we trust them now to do it? With all the atomic soldiers and all the sterilized kids and all the tetanus shots with sterilization compounds? Go ahead. Yes, and remember, too, these vaccines, etc., can lay a trigger in your body that might not activate for a few years, and down you go with crippling diseases or death. That's how fine an art biowarfare is. This is biowarfare. And you're right enough, the top man at one of the Centers of Diseases Controls admitted, he said, this virus was created in a lab. However, even though the symptoms really are very mild compared to the regular flu, it's almost like having a head cold for a day or two, the panic factor is working because people are flooding all emergency clinics each time the baby has a sniffle or someone gets an allergy or hay fever. They're overloading the hospitals to give this impression of terror and fear, and we cry to the masters to help us. We go back to the abuser to help us and to save us. That's the standard technique in the sadistic system that we're trained into. Yeah, it trains everybody to be hypochondriacs, to go to the government to take your shots, and magically they're going to have the new shot for you ready in the fall and winter when the World Health Organization, the Eugenics Organization, says it's going to come kill all of us. I mean, this is ridiculous. These
Even though they admit that a virus keeps taking DNA from every victim, so every time it passes on to the next victim, it's an altered virus. So technically you cannot have an antidote to it.
Yeah, they admit they never have a flu vaccine that works.
That's right.
But the public doesn't know that. I mean, it's just, really, the globalists are just generational con artists and psychopaths that all intermarry and figure out new ways to screw the gullible, sweet public. I mean, it just gets more and more insane. Well, Alan Watt, we've already set you back up for July 1st for 2 hours at high noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. I look forward to talking to you then, Alan, cuttingthroughthematrix.com. People should get your books and videos there at cuttingthroughthematrix.com. We really appreciate you spending time with us.
Thanks for having me on, Alex.
It's always great having you. What a great guy. And now...